Welcome, everybody. Session 23, R.L. Stevenson Biography and Writings. The present session focuses on R.L. Stevenson's brief biography and his remarkable writings. A versatile writer capable of handling variety of genre from Scotland, his full name was Robert Louis Balfour Stevenson and is one of the most famous writers of the 19th century. He was born on 13th November 1850 and died on 3rd December 1894. He was a novelist, poet, essayist, and travel writer, best known for his novels for children. Stevenson was an avid traveler who traveled extensively across Europe, America, Australia, New Zealand, etc. He studied law from Edinburgh University and passed Scottish bar in 1875. G.K. Chesterton, in his biography on Stevenson, observed that he was born on the high terraces of the noblest of northern cities in the family mansion in Edinburgh in 1850. He was the son of a house of highly respected architects of lighthouses. Unlike his family tradition, where all were engineers, he took to writing, majorly because of his ill health, and was sent to warmer climates, and those warmer climates proved him magical in the sense of picturesque and huge experience they could offer to him. Broadly speaking, therefore, his biography would consist of journeys everywhere with a donkey in Sevens with a baronet on the French canals. But they were all, in one way or another, related to the problem of his health as well as to the cheerfulness of his curiosity. R.L. Stevenson as a writer. In his 20-year literary career, he is known for his range of genres he adopted: essays, travel writings, short stories, novels, romances, and biography, known especially for his novels of adventure for children. The masterpiece of an easy, graceful style, the result of much care and a close attention to artistic finish. His works included An Inland Voyage, written in 1878, The Silver Squatters, written in 1883, The New Arabian Nights, written in 1883, The Merry Men in 1887, A Child's Garden of Verses in 1885, In the South Seas in 1896, A Footnote to History in 1892, Island Nights Entertainments in 1893, whereof Hermiston 1896. And about his some more famous works, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, written in 1886, Kidnapped, written in 1886, and The Wrong Box in 1889, Treasure Island in 1882. Let us know more about some of his famous works. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is the story of a single person but with two personalities, one that's noble and kind, and another is repulsive and evil. Stevenson's engrossing masterpiece about the dual nature of man and a good doctor whose thirst for knowledge has tragic consequences serves up all the suspense and satisfying chills one expects from the best horror and science fiction. First published in 1886 as a shilling shocker, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde takes the basic struggle between good and evil and adds to the mixed bourgeois respectability, urban violence, and class conflict. The result is a tale that has taken on the force of myth in the popular imagination. His other famous work, Kidnapped, are The Lad with the Silver Button. Stevenson always considered Kidnapped the tale of 17-year-old David Balfour's adventures in the remote islands and highlands of Scotland with renegade soldier Alan Breck Stewart to be his greatest novel. But when the classic adventure tale was published in 1886, it was without much of what its author held dear. This classic adventure tale tells of the kidnapping of David Balfour. After the death of David's parents, he is sent to an uncle he is never heard of to find his fortune. Uncle Ebenezer doesn't want to part with his money, but he will pay to have his nephew kidnapped and put into slavery. One can discover the betrayal, adventure, and friendship David finds on his struggle home in the Calico Illustrated Classics adaptation of Stevenson's Kidnapped. His The Wrong Box is a masterpiece of farcical comedy. The story of two brothers about to inherit a fortune if only one pesky relative would adhere to the rules. Morris and John Finsbury stand to gain a lot of money if their uncle Masterman dies, but none if Uncle Joseph dies first. So, when Joseph seems to come to an untimely end in a railway accident, a farcical sequence is set in motion. Determined to conceal the death, Morris hides the body in a barrel, which he then ships to London. How will the situation resolve itself, and for how long can the deception continue? First published in 1889 and adapted several times for film and musical, The Wrong Box is Stephen at his funniest. The farce moves at a tremendous pace, with Stevenson rapidly piling up train crashes, missing uncles, cases of mistaken identity, and surplus dead bodies. Treasure Island is masterfully crafted. It is a stunning yarn of piracy on the fiery tropic seas, an unforgettable tale of treachery that embroils a host of legendary swashbucklers from honest young Jim Hawkins to sinister two-timing Israel Hands to evil incarnate Blind Pew. But above all, Treasure Island is a complex study of good and evil as embodied by that hero villain Long John Silver, the merrily unscrupulous rogue whose greedy quest for gold cannot help but win the heart of every soul who ever longed for romance, treasure, and adventure. Stevenson's hand in poetry could impress the generations to come. Here is a poem by him that commemorates his writings in a few lines. Title of the poem is Envoy, and it is from his collection of poetry Underwoods. Here is Envoy. Go, little book, and wish to all flowers in the garden, meat in the hall, a bin of wine, a spice of wit, a house with lawns enclosing it, a living river by the door, a nightingale in the sycamore. Stevenson, look at this. This image is published by simple.wikipedia.org. Oral, Oral Stevenson's A House at Apia, Samoa. It is turned into a museum now. Stevenson spent his adult life traveling, searching for a healthful climate until he finally settled in Samoa in 1889. There he lived on his estate of Walima until his death at the age of 44. This image is published by tripadvisor.in. According to Joseph Farrell, Stevenson's popularity as a writer is such that growing up in Scotland for his generation meant growing up with R.L. Stevenson. British Broadcasting Corporation did adaptations of his fiction on radio and TV, and series of classic comics circulated. Treasure Island and Kidnapped were part of their lives. Thank you.